It came as a surprise to all of us when The Mandalorian entered the Book of Boba Fett and undeniably stole the show, just when the series has started to build up some momentum. What this episode made me realize was just how much I have missed this phenomenal character called Din Djarin, and to what enormous extent I admire him in comparison to his Mandalorian friend Boba Fett. This was, in my humble opinion, pretty close to a perfect episode from every possible perspective. It explored the consequences of the two previous seasons in a compelling, complicated and thought-provoking way that left this fan-favorite character in a tough spot from multiple angles. It was truly the return of the king. Let's get into some more detailed arguments to why I think so. What I appreciate most about Din is that he is unusually relatable for being a Star Wars character. No challenge is easy, and that instantly gets shown in the opening scene. He gets bitten in the arm, shot absolutely everywhere, and struggles so much with his newly claimed darksaber that he cuts himself. This isn't an overpowered Jedi with epic force abilities, rather a simple and quite desperate human in search of a purpose. That's exactly why we fans feel compassion towards him, because when Mando succeeds, it actually means something. The sphere setting was beautiful and reminded me of Coruscant. I can't tell you exactly why, but Din's casual stroll around the city amazed me. It's something about experiencing the universe of Star Wars in tandem with the character, listening to all the noises around you without a word being spilled. Bryce Dallas Howard directed this episode tremendously. The lengthy bar sequence fell straight out of a video game, and watching Mando fly the N1 starfighter made me jump out of my seat. It was that good. This was a unique way of shooting Star Wars that should be implemented much more in future stories.
In order to master the ways of the Force, Jedi must forego all attachment.
That is the opposite of our creed. Loyalty and solidarity are the way.
In my eyes, Return of the Mandalorian is basically the premiere of Season 3, and it handled that title great. The welcome surprise succeeded with moving the story forward, while also dealing with unanswered questions from the past. The main reason for this is Din's reunion with his previous family, and especially the Armorer. Throughout the episode, she elaborates about the Mandalorian history, the darksaber, and her own special beliefs about how this almost extinct creed should act. Her ideology is clearly very dictatorial, and we all know that only the Sith deals in absolutes. Her take on life and what she has been demonstrating to Din is truly the dilemma of the series. Mando's love for Grogu and his experiences with different kinds of Mandalorians has led him to actually contradict it on 2 occasions. It was heartbreaking to witness Din confess his unforgivable crime, but it also symbolizes that he is on a path towards a conclusion, where love and compassion is more important than following rules that has no real purpose. Being outcast from a community you grew up with, wrongfully in my opinion, has happened to many of us. And once again, Din Djarin's everyday problems relates deeply with the audience.
Had our sect not been cloistered on the moon of Concordia, we would have not survived the Great Purge.
The episode sets up a more universal storyline with the world Mandalore, the darksaber, and its history in an effective way. It's obvious that Din is going to be this shining example of what a Mandalorian should stand for, but that he isn't even close to the finish line yet. It's the typical hero's journey, a fair and honest man who in reality doesn't want anything to do with a throne, but is ultimately going to be his unavoidable destiny. That leads me to the darksaber. Whether or not the prophecy is true, the weapon itself is such a great example of how to visualize a character's growth. Din and the Armorer's conversation is so interesting. The weapon is heavy because Mando is fighting against it. It's a lightsaber, therefore it isn't going to be an easy task for him to master it. Din deals with conflicts inside of him, like finding a purpose without Grogu. That's why he struggles. He isn't fully focused. The weapon also embodies his destiny as a leader. When Mando has figured out its secrets, that's when he will be ready to lead the people of Mandalore. I, for one, can't wait until that gets shown on screen. Imagery was an important piece of the chapter. Grogu's wrapped-in gift, that purposefully looks like him is the standout example. You understand that he misses him, just like any parent would. A great scene that once again doesn't need words to express its emotions. Easter eggs, some discreet and some you recognized instantly, were everywhere, and kind of thoughtful actually. The N1 starfighter and Din's very similar path in comparison with Anakin down the Beggar's Canyon was truly sentimental and absolutely my favorites. It was surprising and interesting that we once again met the Republic pilots and the very likable Carson Treva. This has to be more than just cameos, and I have a feeling it has something to do with the Rangers of the New Republic show that these days is put on hold. Episode 6 and 7 was also vital for both Grogu's and Din's individual and joint journeys, but that's a video for another day. The Return of the Mandalorian is an episode that truly symbolized everything great about Din Djarin's story, and that's why I admire it so much. It's a masterpiece. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. But I hope that this video at least made you think twice about it. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.
You mind answering a few questions?